Hi there, this is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Welcome into today's video. And before we go any further, let me give you an apology and say I'm very, very sorry that I sound a little bit stuffy and a little bit nasal. I'm just recovering from flu, not normal flu. This was man flu. I mean, the fact that I survived it is a miracle. And I got no sympathy from my wife at all. Absolutely none. I nearly died. No sympathy. So I'm a little bit ropey today, but I wanted to jump in and make this video because I'm getting a lot of emails about this at the moment. I want to talk about hypnosis, about hypnotherapy to deal with problem drinking, to deal with alcohol addiction. A lot of people say, is hypnotherapy a cure? And the answer is, in my experience, very few people can fix their alcohol problem with hypnosis alone. Less than 10%. So the way I kind of look at hypnotherapy is it's a part of the cure. It's a tool in the box, but it is not the complete solution. Now, the first thing you need to know about hypnosis is it's not what a lot of people think it is. A lot of people have this misconception about what hypnosis and hypnotherapy is. And that misconception is generally that it's a type of sleep. And that when you're in hypnosis, you're unaware of anything else external, like when you go to bed at night. And that's not true. Actually, the opposite is true. Hypnosis is a state of hyper-relaxation and at the same time, hyper-awareness. So if anything, you're more acutely aware of stuff going on around you than you would be in normal waking life. And so sometimes when I do a quit drinking boot camp and we do this hypnotherapy session at the end, some people say, Craig, didn't work for me. Hypnosis didn't work for me. And when I ask them how they know hypnosis didn't work, they say, well, I could hear everything. I could hear that guy over there making noises. I could hear the cars going past the window. I could hear all the noises in the room. So I know that I wasn't in a trance. I was awake. And that's all part of the misconception that hypnosis is sleep. It's not. And this is kind of propagated by Scooby-Doo. You know, in Scooby-Doo, when someone got hypnotized, they would swing a watch in front of his eyes and then his eyes would start to spin round and he would do anything he was commanded to. I will obey, like a zombie. So the first thing you've got to be aware of is hypnosis is not sleep. It's not black magic, it's not a party trick, it's not a piece of theatre. It's actually a very naturally occurring process of the brain. And it's got a lot of bad press because of stage hypnotists over the years using the technique to humiliate people, to get girls to take their clothes off. But actually hypnosis and hypnotherapy is something that's been practiced with respect for thousands of years. There is evidence of hypnotherapy being used back at the time when the pyramids were built in Egypt. So it's a long-standing, highly respected process of the brain that we don't fully understand. What we know is, in hypnosis, the conscious mind is distracted and the subconscious is more open to suggestions from the hypnotherapist. Now, normally, in everyday waking life, you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind filters information. It's always judging, always assessing, always has an opinion on everything. Your subconscious mind has no opinion, has no filter, has no judgment. It just does. All of the power resides in your subconscious mind. Your drinking problem resides in your subconscious mind. And that's why willpower has a 95% chance of failure when it comes to alcohol problems. Because when you wake up in the morning, you feel terrible and you go, that's it, enough is enough. I'm never drinking again. That is a conscious decision. And that's all well and good, and that's all great, and it sounds fantastic. But unfortunately, your drinking problem doesn't reside in the conscious mind. And so it's largely wasted effort. Your drinking problem is a subconscious routine that you have placed there repeatedly over many, many years. So it's become a psychological anchor for you. It's like Pavlov and his dogs. You know the story of the Russian scientist, Ivan Pavlov? He conditioned his dogs by ringing a bell every time he fed them food. And eventually, he discovered that he could take away the food and just ring the bell and he would get the same response. The dogs would salivate and expect to be fed. So that's the bad news. The good news is what Pavlov discovered is if he left it long enough, if he allowed enough time to pass, eventually he could ring that bell and nothing would happen. The dogs would unlearn the routine. And the same is true of you and your problem with alcohol. So as a part of my online course, and certainly as a part of the quit drinking boot camps that I do around the world, we do hypnosis. But I would say that it represents about 10% of the overall package. It's kind of one of the tools in the box. And what I do in my courses and in the boot camps is I give you everything I used to fix my own drinking problem. So I talk to you about the psychological addiction. I talk to you about the physical chemical addiction of the drug, which I call the kick. I show you the craving control tools that I used. I show you the supplements that I took while I was going through this process of getting alcohol out of my life. And I show you how I use techniques like hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Now, the way hypnotherapy works for alcohol problems is because your conscious mind is distracted. It's almost like, imagine that your conscious mind is like a guard dog. And I want to deliver a message to you. I'm a postman, I'm a mailman, I want to deliver a piece of mail to you. And I can't get past the guard dog because he's viciously snarling and he's snapping at me all the time. So if I can distract him long enough, then I'll be able to sneak past and get the message through. And this is what hypnosis does. It distracts your guard dog so that me, the hypnotherapist, can get messages into the part of your brain with the power to actually do something about this problem in your life. And so during a hypnotherapy session for alcohol, I implant subliminal suggestions into your subconscious mind that are contrary to what you currently believe. So I suggest to you that you are not attracted by alcohol anymore. In fact, you're repulsed by it. Alcohol is repugnant to you. It tastes and it smells disgusting. Exactly as you would expect the rotting discharge from decaying vegetable matter to taste and smell. I tell you that you find it easy to turn your back on alcohol and instead go for healthy options like fruit juices and sodas. And I tell you that this is a moment of awakening. You know, in the past you had some erroneous beliefs around this drug. You believed that alcohol was your friend. That when you had stress in your life, when you had a problem, when you needed confidence, when you needed to get to sleep, or whatever other reason you've been using alcohol to deal with, you believed it was there to help you. So I implant the suggestion in your subconscious mind that actually it was never your friend, it was always your worst enemy. Alcohol has always been taking from you, never giving. And this is not a kind of one-shot wonder. You don't just listen once and then you wake up and go, oh, I hate alcohol. Doesn't work like that. You know, I recommend this as a part of a 21-day process. You listen every day for 21 days as a part of the main course. And the reason for the 21 days is this. Firstly, it takes about 14 days for the physical, chemical effect of the drug to stop having an impact on your body. So when you quit drinking, there's 3 stages to it. The first stage is what I call the kick. And this is where the drug is going to make you feel slightly anxious. It's going to make you feel on edge, stressed. You know that sensation you get that you describe, that you vocalize as, oh, I could do with a drink. That is the drug manipulating you, making you feel uncomfortable with the promise that if you just drink, it will take that uncomfortable sensation away from you. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is when we're building a new habit. And we know that it takes roughly 21 exposures to something to create a new habit. So if you listen every day for 21 days, you get into this new pattern, this new belief process. And after 21 days, you're just purely into the maintenance period of this process. So does hypnotherapy for alcohol problems work? The answer is a qualified yes. And I will just reiterate that it's very, very rare that someone who has a problem with alcohol cures it just with hypnosis. You will find hypnotherapists who disagree. But in my experience, it needs more than that. I would say that hypnotherapy is about 10% of the toolbox that we use to deal with problem drinking. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please drop me an email. Always happy to help. Hopefully I see you in the members area, or at least on one of my free quit drinking webinars, and if not there, at one of my quit drinking boot camps that I take around the world. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.